Good afternoon. Welcome everybody to today's session. I'm delighted to be joined by Arriva, who, as you may know, one of the leading passenger transport operators in the UK. Hopefully you all got here by bus or train. I'd imagine you did one or the other. So if you are late and have compensation claims, these are the people to go to. So today we're going to be taking you on the Arriva data journey with us. We're going to be talking about how Arriva has transformed their whole data strategy and their legacy reporting environments to a modern new way of reporting with Amazon Quicksight. I'll also be showcasing the new generative BI capabilities and talking about where we're heading with the Gen BI areas with Quicksight. So I'd like to introduce the team here. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Gavin Clark. I'm the head of BI and data platforms for Arriva Group, which is the overarching organisation that looks after the whole group, strangely enough.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Regan Pickering, the data lead for Arriva UK Bus.
And I'm Steve Warner. I'm the head of business intelligence for Arriva UK Trains.
So we'll be hearing more of Arriva in just a short while. So today we have many organisations who use more than 4 tools for their business intelligence needs. They also use different products, different tools to embed analytics into their applications, and they use natural language tools for their self-service analytics. Now the main challenge is not that they have so many tools, but the fact that less than 20% of the business users have access to these tools. With Amazon Quicksight, we provide a hyperscale cloud BI service. And this service allows personas from all abilities, whether you're technical or non-technical, to make informed decisions. You can build dashboards, you can create paginated reports, you can take those reports and embed them into your own application. These are just some of the basic things that we've been offering since 2016. Now, what we're able to do is help BI teams free up their struggles where they have lots of reports coming in and lots of consumption requests coming into them on a daily basis, and it empowers them to do their jobs more easily. It also allows every user in the organization to have access to insights that they can then take action on. So we have over 100,000 customers globally using Quicksight, and Quicksight today has now become a major force in the industry. We have a robust feature set, and this has propelled us to the forefront of the market. These customers are across industries, from startups to SMBs to global accounts. We are constantly innovating with our customers, and in the last 2 years, we've actually released over 150 new features for Amazon Quicksight. So what can you do with Quicksight? Well, the first thing is Quicksight is really simple and easy to get started. In less than 20 minutes, you can build insightful, beautiful, interactive dashboards and reports that you can consume and access in any location. We also can offer to be able to publish these reports and dashboards to audiences around the world. We can also power different applications. We get a lot of customers who are ISVs or building their own analytics. And this is very difficult for them to do. They always come to us and say, we want to be able, an easy way of getting analytics into our apps. And you may ask the question, why? Well, because it's very hard to. It takes a long time. You need resources, and it's high cost. So a lot of customers, with one click, can embed analytics into their applications. And this can add value into the application. It keeps customers inside their apps. It forces them not to look externally, but to keep their customers happy, where they can offer premium services for the new functionality they have within their applications. It also removes the heavy lifting for developers. So we've created the APIs and the SDKs for developers to use, and this allows the developers to focus on their product and their value proposition. Many customers have huge amounts of reporting today. And this has been growing by the volumes of data that they have in the organization. And a lot of customers are using legacy reporting platforms. They often are concerned about the performance and the high cost of these reporting environments. Now with Quicksight, you can access critical operational reports and dashboards in one convenient platform. And using our paginated features, we'll explore this use case in detail. So I'm delighted to welcome back to the stage Gavin Clark from Arriva to tell you their story. Welcome back to the stage, Gavin.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan, for that introduction to features of Quicksight and some of the really kind of compelling value proposition as well. I'm going to talk a little bit at a higher level around our journey from Arriva's perspective with Quicksight and some other AWS services. If you weren't paying attention before, my name's Gavin Clark and I'm the head of BI and data platforms. I won't be offended if you're just waiting here for the Gen BI demo or for a separate session. That's fine with me. All right, first, we'll just go through a little bit about Arriva, in case you're not aware of who we are. So we are a UK headquartered public transport organisation, and our mission is to be the leading mobility partner in Europe. We operate in 10 different countries in Europe. From a scale perspective, around 1.6 billion passenger journeys a year, 34,500 employees, 568 trains, and 12,500 buses. In all the 10 countries we operate in, we hold kind of market-leading positions in many of them as well. So we're kind of, between 1 and 3 in each of the markets we operate in. Just a little bit about our strategy, and some of these things then will kind of connect to what we're doing around data and how that feeds into and supports a lot of our strategic initiatives. So thinking about our people, right, performance-driven, and kind of inspired and passionate, they need data to be able to do that, to be able to drive that performance forward. Sustainability, obviously there's a lot of views on this at the minute. We are moving to electric fleets and a lot of places for buses and also kind of trains and everything else. And we want to be a climate neutral business that everybody can be proud of. Operational excellence, right? How we drive efficiencies, how we really kind of push the boundaries to make us more effective. Again, that's another area where we need a lot of data. Our clients, we want to be able to build trust with our customers to know that the train's going to be on time, the bus is going to be on time, and if it's not, you get plenty of notification to say that it isn't. Innovation, applying data-driven insights, and obviously the last one is value creation, applying a commercial mindset. So a lot of those things themselves, they all need lots of data to be able to support that. So we'll talk a little bit about the need for change. All right, so I'm sure there's a lot of other organizations who have, let's call them data challenges, right, getting these things right. One of the biggest things that we had was obviously data silos, right? We're not kind of, you had point solutions, not integrated with the rest of the thing. You had then inconsistent KPIs, inconsistent values for certain aspects, whether it be revenue, profit, whatever else. Also, from a innovation point of view, right, kind of things were being stifled because we're not following what I call the 3 R's, right, which is putting the right data with the right people at the right time. It means that, at point of use, the people who need that information aren't able to get it or weren't able to get it before we implemented Quicksight. Looking at doing, ad hoc reports, analyses and everything else, that was always a very costly process and a time-consuming process as well, given our legacy environment and some of the other kind of challenges that we have. So that was something else that we also needed to solve, and we're looking to solve with Quicksight and some of the AWS services. Our legacy stack, right, was aging and fragile. We had a lot of issues with, data pipelines failing, not being notified of that, and all the other knock-on effects that causes. So that's kind of, some of the key things why we needed to change, and to be able to change and to support our strategic initiatives we just mentioned, we started then to evaluate, and we chose AWS and Quicksight. So one of the big reasons was it's a serverless architecture, right? It's a cloud native authoring environment. We don't need to provision infrastructure, desktop tooling, anything else. We can just dive straight in and start creating data products using the tools that are available in the cloud straight away. From a sustainability point of view, it's also good as well because we're only actually using the resources we really need because it is serverless. We were using Redshift already. It meant we could actually leverage and extend the use of Redshift, which was really good because we had a lot of data in there. And additional services like Glue, Athena, and Lake Formation enabled us to think different ways about storing, processing, and analyzing data. And then finally, well, not quite finally, I guess, but the star of the show, right, Quicksight. So from our perspective, it's a single source of truth, right? So that's what we remove those those silos, self-service and reporting, enabling kind of business agility and autonomy to start creating their own reports and everything else. Different consumption methods, as Jonathan mentioned. So we're using a wide variety of looking at, we're using the Quicksight portal, we use the embedded experience, we're also kind of using the mobile app and everything else as well, so we're covering a lot of scope of that and the paginated reports as well, which we'll get onto later. And we also then, from a modern tool set perspective, right, we end up with modern tool sets, Git integration, CI/CD, all of those kind of good things that mean that we develop in a better way. All right, so our roadmap, we kind of started our roadmap early 2023 with our AWS partner Nagaro. So the first part of this was we were migrating from a legacy platform to the new AWS environment. So there was a big part of the project was the kind of migration and design of that, and that took around probably 6 months or so. And then we could move on to developing the core use cases. From once we'd kind of got the data platform right and the data right, we could then start developing new reports, new analyses and everything else. And they were all the core use cases. They were developed by the different business teams. In some respects, they may have been developed by the project team as well. We then moved into self-service phase 1, which is kind of enabling the business then to create their own data sets, analyses, dashboards, everything else on top of that. And that's kind of really enabled a lot of kind of business process efficiencies and lots of other things which Steve and Regan will talk in more detail about. We then we're now at the phase where we're kind of looking at new use cases. So for the different business units, bringing in now additional data into the data lake. How are we going to kind of present that? How do we integrate that with existing data? And how are we going to analyze that with Quicksight? And that's kind of working really closely with the different business units as well as extending kind of the existing self-service use cases. The next step is then further self-service, right? So to enable the business then to start bringing in their own data themselves without necessarily needing the central IT team, let's say, to actually do that for them, right? So again, it's enabling a bit more autonomy, a bit more kind of self-service aspects and, business value-driven activities around developing new pipelines, bringing in new data sources. And then after that, advanced use cases, right? So, determining and evaluating the inbuilt ML capabilities in Quicksight, which already exist. Definitely we're looking at those. And as Jonathan mentioned, we're going to be looking at some of the Gen BI capabilities as well around that. So thanks very much for listening. I'm now going to hand over to Regan, who will talk a bit more detail technically about what's happening in UK Bus. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavin. 15 source systems, 21 terabytes of data, 3.1 billion rows within our fact tables, some at milliseconds levels of granularity. And yet, somehow, we thought all of this could be aggregated into a single 50,000 row extract, pasted into a spreadsheet with a couple of charts, maybe a few percentages, and distributed across the business to drive actions. Does that sound effective to you? Now, obviously I'm being slightly facetious here and over-exaggerating the issue, but it's not too far off where we found ourselves, and one that may resonate with some of you in the audience. We were limited in our analytical capabilities, meaning we could not deliver effective insights. And that is where AWS Quicksight steps in. Before that, a very quick bus stop tour of who we are. I'm here to represent Arriva UK Bus, one of the business units within the wider Arriva group. We operate in both the regional and London markets. Within the regions, we are currently the third largest operator, and within the capital, we operate 17% of bus services. We also offer a few all-electric bus routes. So, What were the key problems? Why was there a need for change? Well, there are 4 key issues I'm going to discuss with you today. Number 1, standardization. Both vertically and horizontally across our organization, different people were seeing different reports with different figures. 2, insights delivery. How can we as a BI team get those insights to those on the ground running the depots on a day-to-day basis? 3, context and impactful visuals. With all this data, how can we actually tell a story? 4, enabling analysts. How can we enable our analysts to drive actions and dig into the data in ways that they've not seen before? As Gavin mentioned, we utilize a wide range of AWS services over here in Arriva, but in UK Bus specifically, here are our top 4 with a few speeds and feeds around them. So, issue 1, standardization. As Gavin alluded to, data silos and different reports producing different figures was a key issue for us. It led to too much inconsistency and too much confusion. With the legacy platform, one of the key problems was trust and confidence in the data. As Gavin alluded to, our data pipelines were fragile. Incorrect data was outputted way too often, or not in a timely manner, sometimes 12 or 1 in the afternoon. This led to our end users feeling the need to go and create their own reports by going directly to the source system, downloading it to their systems, and distributing it across their networks, with slight nuances between each of these reports. One of the key problems that we had to fix as part of the migration projects that Gavin spoke about was rebuilding confidence back in a BI platform. We needed to stop end users feeling the need to go and create their own reports. Additionally, we needed to rebuild all of our reporting from the bottom up. What do those on the ground running the depots actually need to know? And I know the chart up there is a little bit complex, so if there's one key takeaway that I want you all to note down from today, it's make sure you empower all your users. Don't just give the leadership teams the view that they need. Think about middle management and, importantly, those running the depots on the ground or your operations on the ground. So what does removing all this reporting and standardizing our calculations mean? Well, it means that at 9 o'clock in the morning, our managing director will see the exact same daily KPI dashboard as a site manager in Luton, Thurmaston, or Castleford. Our questions have shifted from where has this data come from, where is it calculated, to what is the data saying and how can I move that needle and improve that KPI. 2, insight delivery. Getting insights over to our users was historically a challenge. We have both technical and non-technical users across all levels of the organization. How can we, as a BI team, educate and empower our users to ensure that they understand and can receive these insights? And fundamentally, how can the correct users get these insights so they can take actions on them? One of the R's that Gavin mentioned. For this, we found the scheduled email functionality of Quicksight to be extremely powerful. On a daily, weekly, monthly set cadence to a set number of users, they will receive a scheduled PDF directly to their inbox, reducing the barrier to entry to receiving insights. This, used in conjunction with the dynamic default functionality of Quicksight, means that a dashboard automatically filters to the set user's depot. This means that they can see it quicker, and it means that they do not have to wait around and click around. Additionally, that functionality allows dynamic aggregation of the dashboard. If a leadership member will go onto the dashboard, they will see an aggregated view at a depot level, whereas if a site manager will see, it will automatically change down to an individual route level. So, who are these end users that we keep on discussing? Currently on our account, we have around 300 readers, 170 of which are in the depots itself. Site managers, engineering managers, team leaders. These might not necessarily be technically gifted people. They don't want loads of data. Their strength is understanding the operation on the ground and how they can improve it. We, as a BI team, need to give them the insights to know where their problem areas are. For a lot of hard work and a lot of user engagement, around about 50% of our monthly dashboard views are now those in the depots itself. They don't feel the need to go and create their own reports. They can use the dashboards itself. Context and impactful visuals. The whole point of a BI tool is to tell a story and provide context that would not otherwise be possible. So what are some examples of how we've done this? I'm sure the above is familiar to some of you in the audience. A very simple spreadsheet with a couple of totals, a few percentages, and maybe a drop-down filter if we're feeling fancy. And this is the exact same report now in Quicksight in a dashboard with obviously a lot more functionality. It's got insightful graphics that provide insight into key problem areas. It's easy to understand trend analysis of, is this a consistent problem I'm seeing, or is it just a one-off? And it is dynamic enough to meet the needs of the individual who can actually drive the actions and self-serve through filters and drill downs. And on that user experience and drill down, we've applied that across all of our dashboards. Our users are loving the fact that they can go and click and drill down and choose whatever granularity that they need and self-serve these insights. It's allowing us to look at data in ways that we have not been able to do before. We're a bus company, but we very rarely look at things on maps, which we can now do. All of these together allow our individuals on the ground and in the centralized functions to be more data-driven in their decision-making. And finally, analyst enablement. Not everything needs to be a dashboard. Sometimes you just need to get the data out. I'm sure a lot of you have received those urgent ad hoc requests from key stakeholders saying, give me an answer as soon as possible. And Quicksight lends itself to that fantastically. Our analysts come in a wide range of technical abilities. Some are experts in Excel, some might be proficient in SQL, but a large amount aren't. They have no programming language knowledge. Where they shine is their ability to understand the data irrespective of how they get hold of it. The self-serving model of Quicksight allows us as a BI team to share pre-made datasets with them so they can work quickly and more efficiently to get answers back to key stakeholders in a timely manner, whilst providing us with the governance to see what they are doing and how they are calculating it. Within a few weeks of onboarding our users, one of them reached out to me to show a piece of work that they had done. This was a piece of work historically done in Excel, with a lot of bespoke business knowledge and bespoke logic, with calculations, formulas, and lookups. A few days after being onboarded, they managed to fully migrate this over to Quicksight, meaning that they can produce it in a much more quicker manner and get the answers back to key stakeholders faster. And on that Excel to Quicksight, that is a trend that we're noticing across all of our analysts. They no longer feel the need to download the data to rebuild it back up with a few extra lookups. They can just do it in the platform itself. We've also noticed that our analysts are sharing analyses with each other and working collaboratively across teams. This means that if there is a piece of work that is being done, anyone with that analyst shared with them can go on, see what filters have been applied, what calculations are done, and what data set was used to produce that piece of work. AWS and Quicksight enable our analysts to be a performance-driven, diverse, and inclusive teams, inspired and passionate about delivering the safest and best services. So that was a very quick tour of Arriva UK Buses' journey so far. I've been Regan Pickering. I would now like to welcome on stage my colleague from UK Trains, Steve Warner.
Welcome, mate. Hello. So, Steve Warner, Head of Business Intelligence. Apologies for another corporate slide. I won't go into all of the details. Suffice to say, we run 4 train operating companies across the whole of the UK. We have one heavy and light maintenance company that maintains the trains, and we operate a rail replacement transport operating company. So, yeah, we're there. You've heard from Gavin about our BI strategy and the need for change and why we moved to AWS and Quicksight, our technical deployment and our roadmap. You've heard from Regan about how we are inspiring our analysts through enabling the capability to co-create and share insight across the business. I'm going to give you a little insight into a couple of practical applications of how we've leveraged AWS and Quicksight to deliver some really tangible benefits to our end users, our businesses and their clients. So, using Quicksight embedded, we'll show you how we've presented a shop window of all of the products that we provide as available to our businesses. We'll talk about how we're designing templated dashboards and reports that inspire the businesses and how to use it and deployment in the business. And I'll give you a couple of examples of how we've combined some really large data sets to provide some very simple and clear messages for our customers. So we have a really complex, federated business within the rail industry. When a new user joined a train operating company, they had no idea what data was available. Using Quicksight Embedded, we've produced an HTML embedded view that when a user is onboarded, they can see every single product that's available across the whole of the business. It's designed for each business with their own logos, their own template, etc. And it's really easy to onboard somebody, and they can see what products, the purpose of that product, the data sets behind it, and importantly, the product managers, the key account people in the business who own that data, who they can go and find more information for. This has really enabled us to onboard people quickly and get them to understand the capabilities of the platform and the data sets that are available within it. So taking that a step further, we're looking at how to develop templated use cases for the businesses to show them how to onboard data into their business at every level, at every vertical. So the executives, we designed very, very simple one-page KPI dashboards. Paginated reports can go out at period end. We run on a 4-week period. And that's in the directors' inboxes on a Monday morning after the period end, and they can see exactly where they are with the business. For our senior managers, we're doing weekly reports, lower level, the ability for them and their analysts to drill down, drill across, get further insight and understand how they are performing on a weekly basis and even on a daily basis. use case, in 2020, everybody remembers COVID. The Department for Transport came to Chiltern Railways and said, we really need you to develop a solution so that customers know whether a train is busy or not. We don't have complicated passenger counting systems on the train, so we had to look at a number of proxy data sets that we could potentially use to combine together and give that passenger loading analysis to the businesses and to the Department for Transport. So if you look at what the potential data sets were, when a customer's arriving at a station, potentially scan their ticket at the gate line, we might use CCTV to do head counts, they might scan their ticket or buy a ticket, so there's some data points there. We need to understand their journey from the gate line to the actual platform and which train they get on, both the planned time and the actual time, so we can analyse that, they make sure that we've allocated that journey to the right train. When they're on the train, we need to understand how many carriages are on the train, and we need to know there's opportunities to capture which customers are on which train by scan data, etc. There's still the journey from the train to the end of the station, and then there's a final opportunity when they leave the station again, potentially scan data, gate line data, or CCTV data that we can combine together to get us an impression of how many people are on each train. So we've built a data model back in 2020, 11 separate data sets from all sorts of different systems, a very complex set of rules and assumptions to drive that logic. And we've outputted that to 3 different systems across the industry to support further analysis. Our operational teams, customer service teams, and our commercial business users all use that data now for very different purposes. Our train planning teams can see the capacity of a unit and the diagram across any period of time and drill down even to a stop level. So this gives us the opportunity to understand where we need to increase capacity if we can to improve customer satisfaction, or we can actually reduce capacity without impacting on customer satisfaction and save the DFT and save our customers the fuel and track access charges and reducing our cost to the business. We also push that data out to our customers in mobile apps. So if you've got a Chiltern mobile app or any other app actually, because it's open data that we make available to anybody, the customer can see whether that train is going to be very busy or whether it's going to be lightly loaded, and they can make an informed decision as to whether they want to get on that crowded train or wait for the next one. We also push that data out to our CIS systems and on our station display screens. So for exception reporting, if a train is exceptionally busy, the customer will know that at the point. And if you see the Arriva Rail London screen at the top, we're even now doing that at carriage level for every carriage on an Arriva Rail London train. So Gavin gave you a little bit of insight into our BI strategy. Data is the only function within our business that delivers and supports delivery of every single one of our strategic objectives. But the 3 I'd like to call out in particular are the I can't see it. Our clients, our operational excellence. Because the platform is designed at scale, we can actually deploy this out to the whole of Arriva and very, very quickly. As Regan's identified, our people, we're inspiring our people to be more innovative, more performance driven, and really excited about how they can use data to drive the way that they operate in the business. And it's brilliant for our business users, our train operating companies, in delivering their requirements to our clients, both the customers and our Department for Transport and Transport for London, who are our clients. So we're on a really exciting journey at the moment, but it isn't the end, it is just the beginning. And I'd like to bring Jonathan back on, who's now going to give you a little bit more insight into what's going to happen next with Quicksight and the very exciting developments that are coming.
Wow, what great use cases, examples of Arriva using Quicksight with reporting and embedding. But now the world of generative, as you know, has been there. I've got to say, for us, it's quite old because we've been using generative LLMs in Quicksight since 2020. So for us, we launched in 2020 Amazon Q, Quicksight Q, and this was the ability for the user to log into Quicksight and basically have a dashboard and search in natural language and get answers back from their data. Very simple query and search. So powered by Bedrock, we now have our generative capabilities, and it's split into really three main areas. What you're seeing on the screen now is the AI-powered authoring experience, and this allows the ability to save time in creating interactive dashboards and reports. So what we're able to do is help the analysts and the BI teams build those visuals, also build calculations and be able to refine those visuals using natural language. As Regan pointed out earlier, not all analysts have the same ability. So the biggest challenge is that they don't understand syntax. They struggle sometimes to build calculations. So if they're, for example, doing a profit ratio, they want to have a syntax for that, period over period. They're looking for that. What is that syntax? How would it look? That will be done automatically. And they just ask the question, and this will be able to be automatically, in natural language, automated for them. And this will help them streamline their BI workflows. This is a very difficult thing for a lot of customers. They always complain about or have difficulties in their actual stream flow. So saving time for the authoring allows them to reduce the dashboard build times from hours to minutes. So what about the business user? This is where we're allowing now our executives and business users to ask questions and provide, Quicksight will automatically provide summaries for the questions they're asking. So you might ask a question about what happened, why did something happen, when did it happen, and the business users can now get a summary of what contributed to that change. So for example, if revenue changed by 60% last month versus 20% in previous months, what were the insights? Why did that actually happen? So with the AI-assisted questions, we can actually summarize and say, tell me more about this. Ask in natural language, tell me more insights about what happened here. Is to be able to have access to narratives and stories at a click of a button. Just ask a question about this dashboard, these reports, and build a report, an automatic story for the business users. So we're going to see this now, a demo of the business users in action, and this particular capability with executive summaries and with the storyboards and data stories. So now let's see a demo on how generative BI capabilities can improve the life of a marketing manager to be more productive.
This is Jane, marketing manager for MegaWell, a wellness company bringing customers healthy products through 3 brands: Bookish, Biotic Brew, and Nutrimart. Jane has a board meeting to determine the company's marketing strategy and needs to quickly analyze her team's data. Thankfully, Jane uses Quicksight Q. She can now take advantage of Q's new set of generative BI capabilities. She can get key insights from her dashboard in seconds by asking Q to build an executive summary. Q generates an easy-to-understand narrative of insights from the dashboard's data. She can see that spending increased over 4 times the amount as last quarter, and also sees the top 3 campaigns by spending. To explore further, she clicks the citation and is brought to the tree map in her dashboard. Great! Now she wants to dig deeper on campaign outcomes, which she can do by asking Q. Q suggests questions for Jane to explore, helping her navigate what insights her data may hold. Many of the suggestions mention different post-performance metrics, making her wonder, what were the top ads in 2023? This isn't explicitly stated on her dashboard, but Q can answer open-ended questions like this one. Q interprets Jane's question as total clicks by ad name in 2023, giving her the answer and supporting visuals to provide context of the data. Q also presents a narrative to summarize the data's insights, calling out points that Jane may have missed. The ad, brand new at Nutrimart, had the highest clicks in 2023 with over 1.1 million. And where does this come from? Oh, here it is. She can even compare clicks for all the ads. This is great. That'll be good for her to see later, so she saves it to her pinboard. The pinboard stores visuals and insights that Jane may want to reference and is personalized to what she finds interesting. Oh, and look over here. Q recognizes that there are potentially multiple interpretations of her question, presenting Jane with alternatives to explore and did you mean? Huh, total reach would be an interesting performance metric for her to see. Wow, looks like brand new at Nutrimart was also the ad with the highest reach. And Jane sees a scatter plot comparing other performance metrics by ad names. How cool! Now she wants to dig deeper on this ad. How much did it cost? She asks about the specific data value, and Q recognizes that she wants this ad, filling in the rest for her. Q shows her the answer using several visuals, and she continues to ask Q open-ended and specific questions, saving visuals to her pinboard. With these new insights, she can now build a compelling story to share her findings with her team. Quicksight Q can build Jane a story in seconds. She can choose between a slideshow or scrollable page, and describes the marketing strategy she wants built to lower ad spending and increase impressions and clicks. Then she adds the visuals she wants to apply. Using the prompt and visuals she selected, Q quickly builds a draft to get her started. Jane chooses a theme and makes small changes to customize her story. She spends a few minutes fine-tuning the text and visuals, and Q pulls insights from the corresponding visual in each section. Some unexpected ones like this provide insights pulled from other visuals on Jane's dashboard that connect with this section's data. Cool! Finally, she wants to share her story with her team, so they have the data to help make decisions in the upcoming meeting. She clicks share and adds one of her team members. And now, with the help of Quicksight Q, Jane has a beautiful and persuasive story with data-backed insights that she has confidence in.
All right, so hopefully that's given you a quick insight to some of our new generative capabilities with Quicksight Q. So where can you get more information? This is the Quicksight community. This is everything you need, the single source of truth to access Quicksight, to get started with Quicksight, to see the generative demos that we have available. Also, if you have a question about Quicksight, this goes direct to our Quicksight solution architect team. So anything technical that you need help on, this is the place to go. So please scan the QR code that you see here. This will take you, again, directly to the Quicksight community. And again, we're constantly updating this on a daily, weekly basis. This is the main area for all Quicksight related content as our main knowledge repository that we have globally. So one of the things we also have is our user groups. So we have UK user groups as well that are Quicksight focused. We also have lots of events that are dedicated to different use cases for Quicksight. So if you're automotive, if you're in finance, whatever industry you're in, we have dedicated events across EMEA and worldwide that you can come to learn more. So one final slide. I'm sure you've seen this at all the presentations. So I have to, my apologies. I have to actually talk about this skillsbuilder.aws. This is our online center where we have over 600 digital courses, hands-on labs, and role-based games that you can access to. So this gives you a deep insight to getting certified on the AWS certification programs, and you'll have a recognition award to showcase your expertise. All right, so last but not least, I'd like to invite back the team from Arriva back on stage. To thank you all for your time today. Please complete the survey and QR code that you see above here. But hopefully you've had a great journey with Arriva today, and you have an even better journey on your way home this evening. So thank you to the Arriva team, and thank you all for attending our session today.
Thank you.